Welcome to episode 5 of Fourth and Forever. I'm Dylan,
I'm Christian.
And I know
and this is our podcast.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
College football this weekend. Let me just say this. Banger.
All right. So before we start off with any game, I just want to say this has been my favorite week of college football so far. Easily. We've had so many close games. Just Friday and Saturday, we had 6 overtime games. So far, it's been my favorite week. Easy.
A lot of upsets, too. Can't forget about that.
Upsets and almost up too, which I have a few I want to talk about that aren't in the games that we've listed, but I just want to say a few things about those games.
This first game that we will start off with is going to be Florida State traveling up to Virginia.
And FSU upset. I'm not going to lie, guys. I have a slight feeling, a gut feeling, where we all had that feeling. But now I'm starting to sense it. I have an idea that Florida State might be frauds. I'm just going to put it out there. It's a pretty hot take. And that's what I'm going to stick with just for right now.
I'm going to disagree with the fraud part because they were never in the conversation to start with at the beginning of the season. And yes, they beat Alabama. But that could have been a fluke game for Alabama and for Florida State. Yes, they looked good against their next two opponents. And honestly, they fell apart against Virginia. I'll say that. But I don't think they were frauds to begin with because they were never in the conversation to begin with. They just got hoisted into the conversation after they beat Alabama. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I think Florida State could win out, though. They could win out.
This was an absolute classic game. I would also like to say Virginia's field is not safe for the players during a field rush whatsoever. Pretty fair. Squirrel White, rest in peace, my friend. Played pretty good, but now you're dead. Rip. But let's talk about Chandler Morris right now. He had 5 total touchdowns. 3 rushing, 2 passing. Somebody's looking a little Haynes King-esque. I like it. I think he's a good running quarterback. I don't think he's the best passing quarterback, but he's the best that they can get right now. Virginia's run game outside of him was also very, very electric, as they just kind of let him do whatever. Florida State's defense was not ready for that run game. They were kind of ready for that pass game with Morris throwing 3 interceptions total. But, Virginia just they proved that Florida State is kind of a fraud this year, and I think it's fair to say that. And this was a very tough FSU offense, and forcing Castellanos to throw 2 picks and giving up a fumble is also huge, and having 2 sacks on him is another huge thing, with him being a tiny guy but also super fast, kind of like Kyler Murray a little bit. It just kills a team. But this was an absolute amazing game, very electric. This is going down in my instant classic games.
I will say, this is one of the most thrilling upsets that I have watched in college football in a little bit. Virginia coming out of nowhere just to ruin the streak of number 8 Florida State in a double overtime, may I mention. They started off good with a 14-0 lead, and FSU started to come out of nowhere, gained their position back by halftime, and everybody started to think that FSU was just going to come back out of nowhere and just come in and win, just like they've done usual for the past 4 weeks. Virginia had other plans. Chandler Morris, just like Dylan mentioned, 26 for 35, 229 passing yards. I will say the turnovers, a little shaky, I won't lie. 2 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But the impressive 3 rushing touchdowns that he also had on the ground. I will say that is a pretty impressive stat line for a quarterback, for 5 total touchdowns, Only 3 turnovers, really. And coming out of nowhere, just to beat FSU. I will say, I'm going to stand by, I believe that FSU are frauds. I feel like they got brought into the conversation just like no after beating Alabama. Could have been a fluke game. But honestly, I feel like they are frauds. They're not the real deal. They might win into the playoffs, but I just feel like they're not the real deal. Next week, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, could somebody just recap for me just in case I am wrong? They do play Miami next week, don't they? And don't they play in Miami? They don't. They play at FSU. Even at home, I feel like Miami's going to come out of nowhere and embarrass them and show everyone their team is not what it seemed to be. I will say, Virginia, masterclass execution in that game. Looked beautiful, stunned them. The field raid, a little scary. RIP. He will be missed because he is still missing, possibly. I don't know. FSU, they're going to have to come back and come back big against Miami if they don't want their fans believing that they are just frauds.
The Gator fan gets to talk about FSU again. Love it. And it's a loss. Love it. I want to talk about Ty Castellanos. I still think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he fell apart during this game. But what I did notice while watching, he was trying to copy Cam Ward a little bit. If you saw it. He looked he tried to look extremely relaxed in the pocket. I saw it. It didn't work. It sucked. All right. I could be wrong. I could just be delusional. Maybe. Dylan disagrees with me right now. But I do still think he's a great quarterback. He just didn't have a good game. It happens. On to Morris, decision making isn't the best, but he is kind of has a Haynes King type, great running quarterback. But he did throw into double coverage against an FSU defense. So don't do that anymore. It's going to be great. Deuce Robinson is a dog. I don't care what Dylan's face says. He's a fucking dog. Oh, shout out Virginia. Because fuck FSU. And fat bitches go to FSU.
All right, now let's move on to our next game. This is going to be the early window game for Saturday. We're going to talk about Notre Dame and Arkansas. Just get it out of the way.
So, first off, to Dylan, to Marcus Freeman, and the Fighting Irish, as well as the fan base. I'm sorry. I said that Arkansas may pull an upset here. I said it. I smelled something a little bit cooking in the air. But you know what I smelled? Pig suey and a fat blunt that Marcus Freeman just lit. That's what I smelled. CJ Carr had a great game. I mean, shit, 4 touchdowns, 354 yards, 22 of 30. He didn't fucking disappoint. Neither did the entire Notre Dame team. Marcus Freeman is pissed about his first 2 games and wants his revenge. He's getting it. I don't think Notre Dame is completely back, but they're getting back on the right track.
Notre Dame, I will say, along with Dylan, right next to him. I knew that they were going to start coming back. I knew that they were going to do something spectacular. And boy, did they prove me right by absolutely dominating Arkansas. 56-13. Not only did CJ Carr have one hell of a game, 22 for 30, 354 yards, and 4 passing touchdowns. Jeremiah Love with a total of 4 touchdowns. 2 on the ground for 57 yards, and 2 in the air for 70 yards. Notre Dame had this game from first half, not even from first half, I would say from the first quarter all the way to the end, racking up 14 in the first quarter and 28 in the second quarter. They piled up a total of 641 yards of offense versus 365 for Arkansas. Arkansas, as they started to get beat, never recovered. They just showed their bellies and gave up. When your offense is doing great, wait, I just messed up. When Notre Dame's offense is doing great, not only do they do great, the defense does just as good as that offense. Notre Dame, I see them making this big comeback and making it into the playoffs. Arkansas, this is just their starting rolling stone into a deep, deep, deep depressing hole.
CJ Carr is him. Fuck you, Noah. CJ's him. Marcus is him. Arkansas can blow me. CJ throwing for 354 yards. 4 touchdowns. Just beautiful. Jeremiah Love getting 4 touchdowns himself. He should be in the Heisman conversation. He should be possibly the Heisman favorite right now, not Fernando Mendoza. Even though I do agree with that kind of. This Notre Dame team and every Notre Dame team from now till the end of time will always have a fantastic run game. I am happy that Mike Denbrock. Now let's go back to one of the first episodes. I was talking shit about Mike Denbrock. I still will because I'm not the biggest fan of him still. He's implementing more of a passing game and I love it. I love the pass game. I think that's what we needed. I think if Riley Leonard could pass last year, we could have had a better chance in the national championship. But whatever. Defensively, I'm happier than I've been. Still not the biggest Chris Ash guy. But they did make Taylon Green look like he should have been on the greens trying to sell paper products for Dunder Mifflin. 3 sacks and an INT. That's not an SEC quarterback against an independent school that's supposed to be ass this year. Hey, buddy. What's going on with you, you know? Making most of your fans leave by halftime, and Notre Dame only had about 30% of the crowd there for them. I think that's good. We travel well. We're everywhere. We're fucking everywhere. I hope you know that. Arkansas also just fired their coach today after getting their backs completely blown out, and I think it's hilarious. Sam Pittman, listening to the game, they interviewed him, and he just did not sound like a competent coach. He'd come up with the most random stuff, or he'd say, well, we just got to play better. No fucking shit, dude. You're horrible. They had nothing going for them. Their only touchdown was to a big guy running up the middle. And honestly, I'm not impressed by Taylon Green either. I thought he was supposed to be this top 10 quarterback in college football, but really, he's not even top 50. For me, at least. Fortunately, they did lose a young receiver on a complete freak injury. Jaylen Brown, hopefully a good speedy recovery for him because he is a good receiver and he will be good. Just needs to come back better from this, and he probably will. I hope he does. And Arkansas's defense could not stop a Nerf bullet from hitting their own grandmother in the face. They were so horrible. They let Jeremiah Love do whatever he wanted, and you know what? They took it. They took it like a good little bitch. But you know what? Notre Dame on top. Fuck Arkansas. Fuck Brian Kelly. And I love Marcus Freeman.
All right, next is going to be Ole Miss and LSU.
And I will happily, this is not taking this from the meme whatsoever. They had us in the first half. I'm not going to lie. Whenever I looked down at my phone and it was 7-3, I was getting a little worried that something was going to go down that I was not going to like. But Ole Miss recovered, scoring 14 in the second quarter and holding LSU to 0 points in the second. And I will stand by this claim that me and we have all been making. Chambliss is the guy. Trinidad is our guy. We have needed this to be our guy. This dude had a pretty average game whenever it came to touchdown to turnover ratio. 1-1. It's not terrible. 314 passing yards. 71 rushing yards. This kid had a total of 385 yards by himself, which, if I'm not mistaken, he had more yards than LSU combined. LSU only racking up 254 yards. This kid had 385. He's our guy. He's been our guy. LSU did not look like the LSU that we've been seeing for the past 4 weeks. We have been seeing LSU look good, and then whenever they came to play, what happened? Where'd they go? That's not the LSU that we've been seeing. That isn't LSU. Overall, I would say our defense, I'm not going to lie, still needs a little improvement. Our defense has always been shaky, though. But our offense looks great. Kawan Lacey looks great. Caden Lee looks great. And Trinidad looks great. Not only that, but he is our guy. He should be the starter for the rest of the season going on.
All right. Just want to throw it out there. LSU's first touchdown, which was batted, was an insane play. I'll give LSU that. Other than that, I'm on a straight fuck LSU train. I am biased as hell and I hate LSU. Now that we get that out of the way. I don't know how many more times I can say it, but Trinidad Chambliss is the guy. Look, he was a D2 quarterback at Ferris State and won a national championship. Pretty cool, but that's D2. You throw him into a SEC program. SEC is supposed to be one of the hardest conferences to play in. Not as of late. But you throw him into a hard SEC team, right? And his first start, he's amazing. He comes in from a D2 school to an SEC team. Simmons gets hurt, and now he's balling out. This kid was never supposed to be a D2 quarterback. It's showing. He was always supposed to play at the upper level. He's amazing, whether it's passing or running. I am fully sold on him. You know who I'm not sold on? Grant Nussmeier. His bad decision making. If you look at the interception, he forced another ball into traffic. He does this every fucking game. This LSU team is not good. They're just barely getting by. They're skating by. Now that they lost to Ole Miss, I kind of hope this makes LSU fall apart. Just to prove my point. Ole Miss is now first in SEC. They're 3-0 in SEC play and 5-0 on the season. There could be a conversation there. But that defense does need work. They have glimpses of greatness, but other times they fall apart.
LSU? More like LS poo. Because that's what they look like out there. Nussmeier should never be in this Heisman race. He shouldn't have been considered whatsoever. He shouldn't have been the favorite. And if you put money on him, say bye-bye to that check. Brian Kelly literally sucks donkey nuts. And I will always hate him. And he will always prove why he is just such a dog shit coach. And the only thing about this team that's actually kind of good is their defense. I love Harold Perkins. I love Whit Weeks. They're a great defensive team now. What happened to their offense? I'll tell you what. Remember a couple episodes whenever I was talking about Notre Dame's offense and their defense? Say hello to LSU's offense right here. Without Caden Durham, they're nothing. They're this black trash can. They are horrible. And you know what? I'm all for it. I don't like LSU. I only liked them whenever Joey B was there. But now, fuck them. Genuinely, fuck them. I will say, though, Weeks did pop off in front of his future father-in-law. That was pretty cool. But let's go to the other side of the ball. Let's talk about Trinidad Chambers real quick. He is a good quarterback. He is a Heisman contender, possibly. And I think he should definitely be in that situation. I know it's a big thing to say right now, but he has done quite literally everything for this Ole Miss team who needs it. He is single-handedly carrying this team to a possible playoff spot as long as they stay healthy and consistent. Kawan Lacey is an elite running back, and you can really only hope he doesn't pull a Quinshon Judkins and just transfer to Ohio State for a bunch of money and then go to the NFL. It's also really good to see Logan Diggs get some touches and score. I love Logan Diggs. I wish he stayed at Notre Dame. He would have been a starter with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, but no, he wanted to go follow Brian Kelly, and look what it's led him to. Now he's playing at Ole Miss, getting 2 touches a game. That is horrible. Let's talk about Ole Miss's defense briefly. It's kind of good. It's weird to say that, but it's very true. This is a good defense, and I love to see Ole Miss have a good team. If only they could have done this whenever Jackson Dart was there. Or Matt Corral. Either or. Okay. Tennessee, Mississippi State.
I have a few notes. I'll go first. All right. So first thing I want to say, Mississippi State gave Tennessee hell. All right. This game, close the entire way. All right. Mississippi State's looking for an upset. They're looking for an upset. They're trying so hard to get one. I mean, you made Joey Aguilar kind of look silly out there. I can only watch some of the highlights, but 24 for 40, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Granted, 335 passing yards, but made Aguilar throw 2 interceptions. Interceptions. I mean, Tennessee had a total of 3 turnovers. I think Mississippi State's going to get an upset soon. They are the 12th in SEC. They suck. But hear me out. Mississippi State will beat the Bulldogs. That's all I got to say.
First of all, I think all of Noah's takes, not all of them, 80% of them are abominations. I'm not going to lie.
I just want to see fun stuff happen, man.
I mean, we're not looking at fun stuff. We're looking at funny stuff. I mean, look at the Gators.
We still own your ass, right? As of right now, we still own you.
Look who's ranked and look who's not.
We still own you.
Look who's ranked and look who's not.
I wish I had your quarterback.
Look who's undefeated and look who's not. Please quiet down whenever you're talking to Daddy. Thank you.
We own you right now.
Please quiet down while Daddy's talking.
You wish
Please,
you had DJ Lagway.
Please. No, I do not. I would rather have a crowd from the stands play over DJ Lagway. I guarantee you they would throw less interceptions than he does. Anyways, I didn't really get to watch too much of the game. I got to watch a little bit here and there. But Tennessee barely escaping Mississippi State 41-34 in overtime. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of mistakes made by not just one team, but I would say both teams in this game. Both teams definitely did have a lot of costly mistakes that costed most of them very big plays. Looking at Tennessee's side, Joey didn't look bad. 335 yards, 1 touchdown. I don't like really the turnovers, the 2 interceptions. Could use a little bit of work. But Chris Brazzell and Mike Matthews both having 100-yard games. Not too bad, not too shabby. Chris came away with a touchdown. Mike did not, unfortunately. However, Mississippi State, surprisingly, I'm not going to lie, is looking kind of scary. I'm not going to agree on the fact that they are going to beat the Bulldogs. They're not beating Georgia. It's not going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's
gonna
not
happen.
going to happen. I'm saying this right now. For next week, if the Bulldogs, if they lose to Mississippi State,
They don't play next week.
when do they play?
I don't know, but they play at some point. And guess what? The Mississippi State will beat them.
If Mississippi State, I will make this deal with Noah. If Mississippi State beats Georgia, I will wear a Florida Gators DJ Lagway jersey for the entire next year of football podcasts. I'm only doing college though. I will only do the college part. But I will make that deal with him. Mississippi State looks scary. They're not beating Georgia though. I'm not gonna lie, Mississippi State does look pretty serious though. However, Tennessee barely squeaking by. Tennessee needs a little work on their offense, making less mistakes, cleaning up a little bit of the mess. Mississippi State, just keep doing what you're doing because you guys honestly look good. There was mistakes on both ends though. So both of you guys, I would have to say, just look forward to next week. Don't focus too much on this game because both of y'all played kind of like doo-doo booty ass. And now on to Dylan.
This was a straight up banger. Mississippi State's run game was on point with Bothwell. He had a nice 130-yard gain. I like that. I love a good running game. Pass game for State wasn't really the best, and I would admit it. I think Shapen's luck probably has ran out recently, and you know what? That's fine. That is fine as long as that run game keeps going strong. State's defense looked pretty decent against this Tennessee team, but Joey Aguilar just outplayed them in general. Somehow, in Josh Heupel's offense, a quarterback will always succeed, and that's a good thing. It's a very, very good thing. I don't really believe in Tennessee this year. I don't like the hype. I don't think they deserve it. They're entertaining to watch, but they're not that good. Aguilar always throws some random, horrible interception by overthrowing some guy, and they still have no run game. But the only thing that I will give them 100% credit for is that pass game is always on point. Even with Nico Imaleven, it had a great pass game, but no run game. I'm putting this in to piss off Noah because he said some very not nice things about a player. So I'm putting this in and leaving the video aspect in, but doing a nice little voiceover just to piss him off. Thank you. There's no point to say that because I'm just not going to add it in.
You're going to add it in and you're going to like it.
Well, then I have to cut it and then take it. No, fuck you.
No, you can just leave it in right here. It's fine.
No, stay mad. Are you happy about yourself? Are you happy with the person that you are? Because I fucking hate you. I hate everything about you, Noah.
Oh, really? All right. Hold on. 3 things and 3 times in a row. Dude, would you hate me even more if I look like this?
Okay, now on
You're
to
so
USC.
fucking stupid.
On to USC and Illinois. All right. It was a banger. Don't care what these 2 fucktards say. Banger. All right. I don't know how to say his name, but Mayava, 30-43, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 364 passing yards. Oh my God. Then on the other side of the ball, Altmaier, 20 for 26, 26. Fuck. Altmaier, 20 for 26, 2 tutties, 328 passing yards. Oh. How about Mr. Lemon? 11 receptions, 2 touchdowns, 151 receiving yards. Wow. What a great game. It's even better if you watch it, I promise. I watched it while I was at work. I made time. And guess what? I was so happy. I was happy I made time for this game. Because let me tell you something. It was freeing. It was enjoying watching two teams outside of the SEC play good ball. Outside of, you know what? Fuck the Big Ten, though. Fuck the Big Ten. I hate the Big Ten. Just like you probably hate your creepy uncle. But I hate the Big Ten. Oh, these two love their creepy uncles, but never mind. I hate the Big Ten. Me personally, I mean, let's just go over the yardage real quick. 993 yards total. 4 turnovers. Holy fuck. USC had like almost 30 first downs. That's hard. That's hard. How about that 4th down completion, though? Illinois 1 for 1. USC 4 for 5 on 4th down. Insane shit happening in this game. If you didn't watch it, your life is worthless. Thank you.
Illinois versus USC. Illinois squeaking out with a 34-32 win. Capped and finished with a 41-yard game-winning field goal. Luke Altmaier looked phenomenal in this game. I'm not going to lie. 20 for 26, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns with no turnovers. He looked good. Colin Dixon, 4 receptions, 90 yards. He looked pretty good as well. Didn't cap off with a touchdown, but that's okay. Jaden, I'm not going to even pronounce your last name because it's difficult to pronounce. Have a normal fucking last name next time. Jaden popped off with 364 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. That's a good performance. Also by Wayman Jordan with 20 carries for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also a pretty good performance. And then last but not least, Lemon. 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looks pretty good. 2 goal line fumbles, though. Was very impressive. A total of, like Noah said, 993 yards. Very impressive game. 4 turnovers. Almost 30 first downs by USC. However, Illinois topped it off by having their big dick kicker come out and kick the game-winning field goal. Congratulations to Illinois. You played great. You came out with a win, leading your team to 4-1.
Any game that USC loses, I'm very happy. I hate USC. As a Notre Dame fan, they're our rivals. So they're bitches. Lincoln Riley, I do not like you. Other than for giving me Caleb Williams. Thank you for Caleb Williams. I love him. But let's talk about Illinois real quick. Luke Altmaier must have heard what I said about him last week and got a little angry with me, you know? He used it to win a good top 25 matchup. And this is going to look good for their resume. It's going to help him a little bit. I think USC is just going to keep getting better from here. He went back to playing good, 328 yards, 2 touchdowns, but Illinois still has no run game. Like I said with Tennessee, no run game, but that pass game is on point. Their defense also did not impress me whatsoever, with only getting 1 sack and 1 interception against Jaden Maiava. He makes me mad. Jaden Maiava just makes me mad. I can't tell if he's good or not. Genuinely, I can't tell if I would draft him in my Madden franchise and use him as my starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl, or if I would just throw him to the gates. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. It makes me so mad. But I'm happy to see Longstreet get to play in these games because he's going to take over for Mayava, and I think he'll be great. I can also say USC's run game did look fantastic with Wayman Jordan getting 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. And you also know who else had 2 touchdowns? Makai Lemon. He's a straight dog. 11 receptions, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's going to be like Drake London. He's going to just keep rising and rising up those draft boards and just be another great USC receiver. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, Michael Pittman Jr. Kind of. But fuck USC. Their defense didn't really impress me either. I don't like them, but I do like Kennedy Urlacher. Fuck USC. Let's talk about Georgia and Bama.
The big dogs.
The big
The two titans of the
dogs.
SEC. Two
We got
titans of
the-
the SEC recently.
We got a Crimson's head, and we got them dogs.
Who's that coming down the track? Not the fucking dogs, apparently.
It is not the
Not
Mean
them.
Machine in red and black because they played
And guess what?
horrible.
There's something finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan today. It's the Bama Crimson Tide in Dixieland Delight, overtaking Athens. Look, I will also apologize to any, you know what, let's make it personal. I apologize to my sister and her husband. My dad made me do this. All right, made me apologize to them. Bama won this game fairly. I mean, the 15-yard penalty at the end where the dude jumped on the pile, it was funny. It was really funny. Every camera angle they got had him flying. Didn't know a human could jump that high. But here we are. I will say it was a fun game to watch, but both of these teams have regressed horribly, and it just shows. Past matchups have been way better by miles. I don't know if it's Ty Simpson or Gunnar Stockton or both. I don't believe in both. And I'm very biased against the Bulldogs, but I wanted them to win because I don't want to see Alabama win anymore. But I don't think either quarterback really is their guy. I just don't. I'm not sold on either. I'm not sold on Kellen DeBoer. Obviously, we're going to be sold on Kirby Smart because he is a national championship winning head coach. He can get the job done. But can he do it again? I don't think this year. This year's not their year. This year's not Alabama's year. Both teams have regressed. Georgia was dominant for years on end. For the past 5 years, they've just kind of been dominant. Now that's just kind of over, and it shows. You got to beat Alabama at home. Kirby Smart is like what? 1-6 against Alabama? That's trash. You're just proving the point that Nick Saban still owns you. I mean, he does. Kirby Smart owns his entire career to Nick Saban at this point. But you got to win the big game. This is your big game. And now you probably I don't think you got knocked out of playoff contention, but you just got knocked hard down in the ratings. You got knocked hard down in the rankings. But they're definitely not going to fire Kirby Smart. Not anytime soon. I've seen some shit in the past 24 hours. It's been lots of shit. Oh, and I'm definitely not sold on Kellen DeBoer. I don't think he's the guy.
Ty Simpson looked good, and this Bama team put up a fantastic fight. Let's talk about our receiver really quick, who coming into the year had crazy expectations. Ryan Williams is struggling. He's struggling with Ryan Williams is struggling with huge drops and is clearly affecting him mentally, physically, whatever. He dropped a wide open touchdown today. Not today. He dropped a wide open touchdown. That is not like him. Now, it could have just hit his hand wrong, but if you're going to be a top 2 receiver in college football, you have to bring in every ball. Look at Jeremiah Smith. This dude can grab the ball over like 4 defenders. He doesn't give a shit. This Bama team also really just can't run the ball this year. Seeing Justice Haynes go and now playing great at Michigan definitely is hurting DeBoer a little bit because now he has no set running back one. And it sucks because Bama has always had these fantastic running backs. You think back. You think Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Najee Harris. You think of just a big, good running back room filled with 5 first-round picks. They don't have that this year. But, hey, Caden Proctor, he got himself a ball. I love when they use trick plays to get big guys the ball. It's just something good, you know? It's what football needs. And this defense locked in and played their best ball tonight. And honestly, crazy take here. I think if they played FSU now, they'd beat them. Let's talk about Georgia real quick. I do not believe in Gunnar Stockton. I don't think he's a good quarterback. He is not the one to take them to that promised land. We saw it last year in the playoffs. Sure, it was his first start, but with how highly touted he was and how high Kirby Smart talked about him, dude, you're not good. If anything, you should be going and playing at UTSA. You're not that good. The run game was good, I will say. Georgia has always had a really good run game, and they just have backs on backs on backs on backs on backs, just stacked up, waiting to go in. And I love that. I am a running back guy. I love seeing good running backs, and I'm happy that Georgia actually has good ones. And I can't even dog on this defense because they look good, but it's just Stockton. He is the problem. He cannot help them. He does not get them points. He does not play quarterback well, and he's just not a good quarterback. I know they miss Stetson Bennett. I know they miss Carson Beck. Tough shit, you got Gunnar Stockton.
I watched most of this game. I'm just going to keep it short, sweet, and simple. Even though Alabama won. I hate Alabama still. You guys suck. That's all I got to say.
I have something I want to add. In the famous words of Vicki Lawrence, that's the night the lights went out in Georgia. Dylan's going to cut that out, I know it.
That was not as hard as you think it was, dude. That was so bad.
Hey, so gotta cut it a third time. Stupid dog. That stemmed from like me pissing Brady off and calling him a stupid dog. And I've just been calling people stupid dogs since. And it makes Dylan laugh. Now you do have you Dylan, have you seen the
Just spit it out. Just fucking spit it out.
no. All
You
right.
guys are making
Oregon and
my
Penn
job
State.
so much harder.
I told you I could edit it.
No, it's fine.
He's
Okay.
about to put like air horns and shit over fucking words that we're talking about.
Well, he'd have to cover our mouths too.
Fucking idiot. Spit it out next time.
On
Anyways,
to Oregon and Penn State.
on to Oregon and Penn State.
James Franklin is a fraud. I am happy it's getting exposed. I hate James Franklin so much. Dante Moore, Heisman contender. I love Dante Moore. I wanted him at Notre Dame, but I love CJ Carr. Oregon's run game worked very well for them, and I love this Oregon receiving core. They're fantastic. And I love seeing Oregon good again. They deserve it. They have the coolest jerseys in college football. And I love it. Dan Lanning is literally not coked out, but coked out at the same time, if you know what I mean. Like, go back a couple weeks, you see Michael Irvin going crazy. That's Dan Lanning, but not on hardcore drugs. And also, side note, this is for if you aren't named Drew Aller, just skip ahead. Hey, Drew, if you went anywhere else, you would be a drafted quarterback by now. If you would have went to Ohio State, you would have been in the league by now, just letting you know. But instead, you decided to stay loyal to James Franklin, who really has just kind of screwed you over and hasn't really developed you at all into that gunslinging quarterback that you want to be. Kind of sus, buddy. I would have left. I would have fucking left. Especially after last season, I would have left. You lost so much talent last year. I would have went for a new start. Go somewhere that needed a quarterback. Georgia. You could have went to Georgia, and you would have had crazy talent around you, a good defense. You could have led them to a national championship, but you decided to stay with James Franklin. Congratulations.
Drew Aller, James Franklin. Trash. All right. No shit. Penn State are frauds. We've said this from the beginning, from the first episode, that Penn State are frauds. No shit. They lose to Oregon at home, in Happy Valley, in Beaver Stadium. No fucking shit. We been knew this. Now, this would have been my game of the week if the first half looked a lot more like the second half, but it didn't. The first half was just mid. It was boring. But then they came alive in the fucking second half. It was 17-3. Then boom, Penn State says, hey, what up? They back. And then a double overtime. Shit, count me the fuck in. Shout out Oregon. Fuck Penn State. I hope you rot in hell.
I'm happy to admit that the last time Penn State was not frauds was with Saquon Barkley. I'm not gonna lie. Penn State, you're frauds. Drew Aller, you suck. Penn State, I can't say that on camera. Damn it. I'm gonna just stick with Penn State, you're frauds, and Drew Aller is absolutely terrible. How can one quarterback that's going to a Big Ten, well-known school, suck so badly? Oregon, like Dylan just said, has the best uniforms in the entire college football industry. Dante Moore looked solid, going 29 for 39, 248 yards, and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. Dante Moore looked the best out of every player on Oregon. I'm not going to lie. Penn State got exposed, will probably continue to get exposed, and will be known as the biggest frauds in college football right now. I don't know about biggest. They're kind of tied up there with a couple of contenders, but I would still say that they are one of the biggest frauds coming into the 2025 to 2026 season. All I'm going to say is Penn State, I feel like this is now going to be their rolling stone where they're going to continue to fall downhill. And Oregon still looks good. And I feel like they're going to make a long run.
All right. This is going to be a little section I want to have. The shout out games of the week that we are not going to cover whatsoever, but I will talk about them. TCU and Arizona State. Hoover couldn't get it done. Rest in peace, his soul. Number 9, Texas A&M. Barely steaming by Auburn. 16-10. And then for the final game, another double overtime. Marshall and Louisiana, 54-51. If you watch this game, the very few, very proud. This was a banger. And not game of the week, but a very close second game of the week.
Let's talk about our last game. Game of the week for sure for me, probably for everybody else. Why are your hands up doing jazz hands, Noah?
I thought Oregon and Penn State was the last game.
We have Georgia Tech and Wake Forest.
I don't. Oh,
That was not thrown into my
Mentioned.
hands.
Oh,
That
I
wasn't
know.
mentioned to us.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you want to talk about it?
Oh, no, I just wanted to throw you guys a wild card.
Okay.
oh, easy.
Just a simple
Got
fuck
it.
you guys for earlier.
What? Oh, okay. For us being
Oh.
stupid.
Georgia Tech coming in and proving why they are ranked. Coming in 5-0. Honestly, surprising. Pretty surprising. Georgia Tech looks good with Haynes King. Haynes King is carrying this team overall. There's no other player on Georgia Tech that's relevant except Haynes King. Coming in, 28 for 42, 243 passing yards, and 1 passing touchdown, along with 106 yards on the ground with 2 rushing touchdowns. This dude came in with 349 total yards and 3 total touchdowns up against Wake Forest. Is this double overtime or a single overtime? Single? It was a single overtime.
Not sponsored by Dos Equis.
Thanks, Noah. Georgia Tech came in, winning only by 1 point, though. Those 4 weeks, they looked pretty good. Only winning by 1 point looked a little shaky, I'm not going to lie, especially Wake Forest. Wake Forest, Robbie Ashford did not look so good. 219 yards, I'll give him that. But going 13 for 28 in the air is not how you want to be known. However, I will give them Demond. I guess I'm saying his name right. I don't know. Demond. It's Demond. Demond Claiborne. I don't know. Demond Claiborne coming in for 119 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Looked good on the ground. I will say overall, these teams had a pretty even out battle. However, defenses do need a lot of work. Georgia Tech came in with 0 sacks. Wake Forest came in with 0 sacks. Only having, between the both of them, a total of 9 tackles for loss. Not one player recorded a sack. None of them did. They recorded a total of 856 yards between the both of them. 1 turnover. And Georgia Tech came out of nowhere with 27 first downs. However, I will say that Wake Forest was killed by penalties, with 8 penalties for 81 yards. I didn't really watch much of this game. However, I did watch the highlights, so joke's on you. Not too many of them, though. A couple minutes here and there while I was on lunch. Wake Forest had a good first half, however, choked it. Georgia Tech looked like shit in the first half, came out of nowhere, had a good comeback. I know Dylan will agree with this if I said this. Haynes King, Heisman runner-up. Wake Forest definitely still needs work. Georgia Tech going far.
Haynes King's run game is incredible still. We're still seeing that. His pass game looked shaky. All right. This is the same quarterback we saw at Clemson, just trying to get CTE. In the past 4 games, he's been trying to get CTE. And I think it's starting to settle in a little bit. Might be getting some shit in the head now. But still my goat. All right. We'll see how he goes. But Georgia Tech, fell apart in the first half. It was horrible. Me and my coworker were texting each other about it, what was going on with Georgia Tech. I mean, just 2 weeks ago, they beat Clemson 24-21, which, I mean, you think Clemson isn't that good this year. They have the talent. They're just not that good. But if Georgia Tech's beating them by 3, you think they'd beat Wake Forest by more and hold down Wake Forest more with their points. They just didn't. Wake Forest is the 15th. Wake Forest is the 15th team in the SEC. Not the SEC. If Wake Forest is in the SEC, we're done for. All right, we're fucked. Wake Forest is the 15th team in the ACC. They're bottom of the barrel. Georgia Tech is first in the ACC. All right. The first team in the ACC should be beating or blowing out Wake Forest. All right. Wake Forest is pretty much historically bad. They're a horrible team. They have been. They will always be. You will never see a Wake Forest national championship in your lifetime. We will never see it.
Unless Dylan is head coach.
Unless Dylan's head coach. But in our lifetimes, we will never see a Wake Forest national championship win.
Haynes King for Heisman. My backup game of the week. Mr. King runs like Lamar, but throws like Mac Jones. It's a good give and take, but at some point, I think he's going to get to the pros. And they're going to be like, oh, what a great runner. And then they're going to try to develop him, but really he's a shitty thrower, but a good runner. And guess what he's going to turn into? A tight end. He'll be a great tight end, just like Felipe Franks. Am I right, Noah?
Felipe Franks is a horrible tight end. Guess what they did also with Tim Tebow? And guess
Also,
what? The Swiss Army knife for the Saints.
I would like to mention this. You're shitting on Mac Jones. Mac Jones led the 49ers to 3-0. I will say that. Brock Purdy just came back.
They lost today to Jacksonville.
That's because Brock Purdy came back.
I'm always going to shit on Mac Jones because he hit the weakest gritty I've ever seen in my entire life.
Mac Jones for MVP this season.
This entire thing's going to cut out. Anyways, Robbie Ashford, you're on your 17th school at this point, dude. Hit up Indeed. Get a fucking real job. Wake Forest, you suck. You've been nothing since Sam Hartman. You blow. Georgia Tech, Haynes King. Which one of you said they got nobody else? Both of you guys. Oh, Christian. Georgia Tech has nobody else. I will completely agree with Christian. Haynes King is the only thing keeping that team afloat. And once he's gone, that team is just going to go right down into the abyss of the ACC. I know I said a couple weeks ago, Georgia Tech is going to start to become a good team in the ACC. I'm taking that back because you know what? Week after week, it is proving to be true that if Haynes King doesn't do everything in his power, this Georgia Tech team, they're just not going to win. And he literally left it all out on the field today. And I will give him mad props for that. And I cannot wait to see you be a great tight end in the NFL for the Chicago Bears.
Have you belt ass?
Whenever it comes to parlays, I'm a fucking loser. Kicking things off with Thursday night's game, where Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals played, and they came in with their new uniforms, which need a little bit of work. I'm not going to lie. I'll say that the one time and the one time only. I'm not going to lie. This is my take on their uniforms. They're kind of good, but at the same time, they're kind of garbage. They don't look terrible, but they don't look the very best as well. Kind of reminds me of tortilla chips. I would say edit them by adding a little bit. I would say add a little bit more red into the mix and a little less of whatever tan sand thing you got going on.
Noah didn't watch most of these games because Noah got lazy. All right. So yeah, not a huge fan of the Cars jerseys. They're ugly as shit. Kyler Murray running will always be funny in my opinion. Sam Darnold looks good. Completed 18 of 26, 242 yards and a touchdown. Cardinals tried coming back late, but Kyler Murray does his thing and loses. O-line did a lot for Darnold. That's all I really got. I hate both these teams.
This is the only game I actually have true notes on. I will say this already first. This is the only one, quite literally, I got bored at work. You might as well call this the Battle of Ohio State wide receivers because Maserati Marv and JSM went insane. Let's start with Seattle really quick. Sam Darnold is not worth the $100 million contract that he got. If you're only going to put up 242 yards against this Cardinals defense, you're trash. This secondary is so meh, and you have genuine elite receivers. But hey, fuck it. The run game is also dog shit with a Kenneth Walker. But for some reason, he kept running backwards every time I looked.
With a what, Kenneth Walker? That got cut out.
Bald. The run game, fuck. Was it supposed to be was a waste? What the fuck is going on? The run game was a waste too, but bald Kenneth Walker, he ran strong, but for some reason, I don't know what is going on in his head that made him go bald and also fucking run backwards. Every run, he'd bounce off a tackle, go backwards, try to spin around it, and go to the other side, but it just couldn't work. It doesn't work. Dude, it just stop. It doesn't work at all. Let's also talk about the other back, Zach Charbonnet. He had a very fitting game. 12 rushes, 39 yards, and a touchdown. That is the most Zach Charbonnet game I've ever seen. If you look through his stats going back to his rookie season, he does the exact same shit every year. I mean, I'm not against it, but it's same shit. Seattle's defense had 6 sacks on Kyler, and that includes a horrible failed flea flicker attempt. And wow, that was a horrible call. Whoever decided to just use that needs to be shot. That was disgusting. Kyler tried to go up, back. It didn't work. Dude's 5'10", and he can't move. Tell me how you go from the second best team in the NFC to now last in your division. But let's go back to this game right now. In the first half, he threw 2 interceptions, but started to play a little better in the second half. The only thing and the main reason they lost this game was they couldn't score. They didn't score their first touchdown until 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the game. The run game behind Kyler was absolutely horrendous. Kyler was the leading rusher with 41 yards on 5 carries. And then we got to talk about Maserati Marv. You are meant to be a number 1 receiver for him. If Kyler can't get you the ball, you guys aren't going to win. And if he does and you drop it, you're not going to win. You need to lock in. You have several drops on the year so far, and this is supposed to be a huge year for you. You put on a bunch of muscle in the offseason, but you just aren't catching balls. I don't know what happened to you, Maserati, but get your shit together. Other side of him, let's talk about Michael Wilson real quick. He wasn't used as much as he should have been, but when he was used, he was balling, dude. On a 4th down, he had a very clutch one-handed grab to get the first down, to then, on a 4th down, he had a very clutch catch to then get them closer to scoring. The defense was also pretty meh, only getting 3 sacks on Sam Darnold, which, come on, really? He's slow and he's white. Game was pretty decent. and it did come down to the wire, thanks to Kyler in the second half turning into prime 2021 Kyler.
Alrighty. I guess it's my turn. I will start off by saying I do agree with Dylan's statement. Sam Darnold is not worth the $100 million contract. I will say his passing stats this game did not look too shabby. On the other hand, though, it didn't look like how he looked last year whenever he was on Minnesota. On Minnesota, he was balling out. But looking at him with the offense he has right now, with Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, JSN, he has Cooper Kupp as well. He has all these pretty good all-pro offensive players, including Cooper Kupp. And he's only going for 242 and 1 touchdown. I will say this. If you have that good of an offense, I would start using the passing more. And also, I would say use Zach a little bit more. Using Kenneth Walker, I mean, to be fair, he is getting a little older, if I am correct. I feel like isn't he like 28? He's getting up there in age a little bit for running backs. Zach is still young, and he plays like, I would say, a miniature version of Beast Mode, but not really Beast Mode. I would say use Zach more than Kenneth Walker, though. He's more of an elusive power back, which is a good combination whenever you need him. Sam Darnold, I will say you have to air it out a little bit more, especially getting it out to your elite receivers. And I would say your tight end as well. You do have a pretty solid tight end, if I'm not mistaken. You can feed him a little bit more. Now moving on to Arizona, you guys are 2-2. Kyler Murray, you're going 27 for 41, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I'm not going to count those 2 interceptions against you because, in my opinion, they were not his fault. That was on his wide receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., which he looks big, he looks fast, he looked good during the offseason. But whenever it came to catching and not giving it to his defense, that went out the window. He gave up 2 interceptions, and those were on his faults. I will say that it is a healthy mixture of using Marvin Harrison. I would say with Dylan, use Michael Wilson a little bit more. Trey McBride still eating it up and cooking on the football field. And Kyler Murray running like a child, running away from his parents with the belt. Arizona, you kind of have to get your stuff together if you want to come out and lead in your division. Seattle, I would say keep doing what you're doing, except air the ball out a little bit more and use Zach Charbonnet a little bit more. The next game we're going to be going on to is between both of our favorite teams, the New Orleans Saints and the Buffalo Bills. No, why don't you kick this one off for me, if you don't mind whatsoever?
Why must the football gods torment me every single week in, week out? Whether it's the Gators or the Saints, we're fucking losing. All right, you know what? I'll give us a dub. I'll give us a quick little dub, quick little shout out. We are the first team to pick off the winter soldier himself, Josh Allen. That's something. That is something right there. But we're still 0-4. Josh Allen, still for MVP. Back to back. 16 of 22. 209 yards, 2 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, and 1 pick. But only 209 yards were thrown. Why? Why, Allen? Why only 209 yards against this horrible Saints team? Like, what are you doing, bud? Like, Saints fan. Love the Saints, but fuck, we suck. How are you only throwing 209 yards? Under 250 should be a crime. All right. But here we go. Rattler completed 18 of 27, 126 yards, and 1 touchdown. But here's the thing. Look. Rattler sucks in the red zone. Just sucks dick. He's just gobbling, dude. Every left and right. There's dicks in his mouth just gobbling because he sucks in the red zone. I will say, as a Saints fan, I have bias. Hard bias. I will say we suck. But we looked better today than the rest of the fucking season. All right. But it doesn't excuse an 0-4 record. Pigs will never fly again if it's going to keep looking this way in New Orleans.
Thank you, Noah. To answer your question about why Josh Allen is throwing 209 yards, he had no time in the pocket that game, and that's the one thing I will complain about. Congratulations to the Bills winning the game and becoming 4-0, 3-0 at home. The one thing I will say is Josh Allen had no time in the pocket. I don't know what the offensive line was doing, but they were not giving him enough time in that pocket. He was getting pressured about every single time.
Cam Jordan, baby.
Cam Jordan is still a beast at his age. Buffalo Bills coming out with a BTA win up against the Saints, 31-19. It's not that far off, but
Built ass. This was not a built ass game. It was not. Just want to throw that out there. No.
you guys still got belt to ass. Don't say anything else. You guys got belt to ass. Like the past 3 weeks, you have gotten belt to ass. Spencer Rattler did not look terrible. 18 for 27, 126 yards and a touchdown. Alvin Kamara coming out with 15 carries and 70 yards at 30 years old is also not bad. I will say, though, you guys should use Kendre Miller a lot more. I would use Kendre Miller over Alvin Kamara. Miller had 11 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown, while Kamara had 15 carries, 70 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Kendre Miller is your running back. You should use him more. And Rashid Shaheed, not bad being your leading receiver. I'm glad you guys aren't throwing suicide balls to Chris Olave to get him his 4th concussion, because he's possibly averaging about 20 concussions per season at this point. Overall, I will say congratulations to the Saints for picking off Josh Allen. You guys are the first ones to do it. However, you guys couldn't stop him in the air or on the ground because he got 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown on you guys. Josh Allen having 16 for 22, not bad passing stats, 209 yards, 2 passing touchdowns and an interception. I wish I had more yards, but like I said, he could not get enough time in that pocket. James Cook with 117 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. I believe I saw a stat. He has, I think, 9 or 10 consecutive games with 1 touchdown straight. I mean, that's pretty good for a running back. I'm glad that we got him his extension. Overall, I feel like that we should use Keon Coleman a little bit more. Using Khalil Shakir and also Dalton Kincaid, it's not bad. Dalton Kincaid could have a little bit more receptions than 1 for 28. Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, those are both your wide receiver. I would say Keon would be a wide receiver 1 over Khalil. I feel like Keon is still young. He still has development, but he is progressing a little bit better than Khalil. Overall, I will say, not bad Buffalo. We're one of 2 teams still undefeated. New Orleans Saints just going to put the knife in it right now. This is not your season.
I caught a little bit of this game. And when I say a little bit, I mean a very little bit. I saw it on Red Zone and I was like, it looks okay. The Saints need to clean house. I'm saying get rid of all the older players. Cam Jordan, Alvin Kamara. Start getting draft picks. You guys need them. You guys need draft picks. You guys need young players. Develop Rattler. I think he could be a good quarterback. He just needs some mentorship. Because who are you going to get this year? Garrett Nussmeier? Dude can barely throw down the field right now.
Grant Nussmeier.
I had to fix that several times for you. Alvin Kamara, trying to beat those washed allegations. I mean, he kind of did. Kind of does. Still has drip. I like it. But I want to go back to Mr. Rattler really quick. He missed Brandon Cooks in the end zone, which, going back to one of your statements about the red zone, is he struggles in the red zone. That one red zone drive I watched of him, he struggled. He couldn't keep composure. He underthrew several receivers, especially Brandon Cooks, in the end zone, where Brandon had to pretend and try to hide the ball from touching the ground. You can't be doing that. You're an NFL quarterback. You cannot be doing that shit, dude. Come on. Defensively, congratulations. You picked off Josh Allen. This defense is still dog shit. Bill's side. Josh Allen, you're probably going to win MVP again this season. It's probably going to happen. If it's not you, it's probably going to be Mahomes. Simple as that. James Cook, you're on my fantasy team. I love you. Thank you for my fantasy points. Keon Coleman should be wide receiver 1. Just develop him. I like his physicalness. He's good. Bills defense? Maybe. I don't know. They're kind of. There's nothing special about them, but there's not like anything not special about them. Like, they're in the middle. I like them. I don't like them. I like them because they're still pretty decent. I don't like them because of their age. Overall, meh game. Saints are dog shit. I agree with Christian. They're going to get maybe 1 or 2 of the wins this year. And you know what? They're going to get Grant Nussmeier, as Noah says.
Okay, now moving on to our next game, which I will happily start us off with. We're going on to the Los Angeles Chargers going up against the New York Giants, where New York Giants will secure their first win. As an Ole Miss fan, I loved watching this game, and I love seeing Jackson Dart.
What the hell?
Jackson Dart has ice in his veins. He's got that dog in him. Jackson Dart posted Madison Beer on his Instagram story and said game day tomorrow. And what happened? He beat the undefeated Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert after posting Madison Beer on his story saying game day tomorrow. If that doesn't prove nothing about Jackson Dart, I don't know what does. Jackson Dart having a hell of a regular season debut. 13 for 20 for 111 yards and 1 touchdown. The kid is a solid quarterback. He should be the starter going forward now. Him and Cam Scatabo. I know Exciting Whites is already taken, but this should be Team CTE. These dudes play like they want CTE, and they don't care. Cam Scatabo had 25 carries for 79 yards, and Jackson Dart had 10 carries for 54 yards and 1 touchdown. These two are exciting players to watch, and I am so happy that Jackson Dart is now starting. Not only as an Ole Miss fan, but for New York, you guys have needed this. Russell Wilson has brought you nothing but depression. Unfortunately, you guys lost Malik Neighbors, which I am sad about, hoping for a quick recovery off of his torn ACL. But now you guys can use Darius Slayton now, which I think Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson, those are 2 pretty solid receivers that you got going on in your wide receiver room. And of course, Russell Wilson, the only time that he was out in the field, he fumbled. If that's not telling you nothing about Russell Wilson, he has played himself, and I've seen this on an interview, he has played himself out of a Hall of Fame position. He was good in Seattle, but ever since going forward, he has not played good one bit. Moving on to Los Angeles, Justin Herbert had a pretty shaky performance, going 23 for 41, 203 passing yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Had a quarterback rating of 39.6. Justin, I don't know what was going on in your head going into this game. I don't know if it was Jackson Dart posting your girl. I don't know if it was just going into New York Stadium. But hopefully you learn from this and move on to next week and come back to Justin Herbert that we were excited to see. Amarian Hampton had one hell of a game. 12 for 128 and a touchdown. Happy to see it. Happy to see that Quentin Johnson is learning how to use his hands now. 8 receptions for 98 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen for 5 receptions and 37 yards. Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson, especially Keenan Allen at his age, they are playing actually decently well. And I'm happy to see it. Makes me happy. I would say throw it to Keenan Allen a little bit more than Quentin Johnson, but if you want to develop Quentin Johnson to your wide receiver 1, if he learns how to catch still, perfectly fine. Los Angeles, I will say that this could have been an off week for you guys. You guys possibly need a little work, but come into next week coming in with a win. New York Giants, I'm going to see Jackson Dart next week playing New Orleans. I'm excited to see it. Can't wait to see him. And hopefully coming in with another win to go on the Giants schedule.
Jackson fucking Dart, dude. He's got that dog in him. I'll tell him. I'll tell you that. He's got that fucking dog in him. To post another man's girl and then say, game day tomorrow. The opposing quarterback's girl. Wild shit. He's got that dog in him, and he proved it.
Posing the girl and then whooping the shit out of him.
Yeah, and then Herbert throwing 2 picks. All right, Herbert was rattled. All right, he was rattled. And also, just want to throw out, the Chargers had 14 fucking flags. That killed them. Jackson Dart looked fucking good for his debut. Russ does not have a job anymore, and that's all I got to say. RIP Russ Wilson's career.
Obviously, we have a lot of Jackson Dart dick riding here. And I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Get on that train, dog. Woo, woo.
Posted Madison Beer. First touchdown pass was a little shovel option to Theo Johnson. Dude, you're fucking him. You got the drip. You got the swag. Dable basically wants to suck your dick over here. You're not giving that job up. I know you're not. And then Mr. Skibbity going crazy. I'm happy for you guys. I hope over the next few years you guys can build into a solid team and actually do something in New York again, because they deserve it and you deserve it. Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors. I'm so glad I decided to start I'm so glad I decided to start Rome Odunze over you this week, because you tore your ACL. At first, I thought you just maybe sprained something, and then I saw the ACL thing. I was like, fuck. So I'm going to drop you, and I'm just going to leave you in the free agent pool for right now. If someone wants to pick you up, I mean, they're dumb, but because you're not going to play, but still, whatever. You know, get a little loosey-goosey with it. Chargers side, though. Herbie, not the best game from him, but still, you're making Quentin Johnston look good again, which I'm happy about. And I saw a video kind of explaining why. Staley used Quentin Johnston as a shoot it downfield kind of guy, but he's more of a yak guy. If you get it underneath to him, he's going to get you 30, 40 yards. You have to use him like that. He's not a deep threat. Throw it up and just see what happens. He's not a Calvin Johnson. He's not a Keenan Allen. He could be becoming a Keenan Allen with Keenan Allen right there now. Fucking learning from him. but he probably won't. Marion Hampton, I should have drafted you in fantasy because now you're going crazy, and I'm glad because Harbaugh loves his running backs, and you're going to have a good career there with him. Chargers defense, I mean, you're going against a rookie. You should have, I don't know, done something. It's his first game in the league. He flexed his dick all over you guys, and you guys lost. It's your fault.
Okay, now moving on to the next game, which I hate talking about their fan base. I hate talking about the team. I just dislike the team and the fan base overall. We are talking about Philadelphia versus Tampa Bay. Who wants to start off?
I did not watch these last 5 games. I'm going to go ahead and say that. So y'all can carry these last 5 games for me. Thank you.
I listened and kind of watched this game a little bit. Baker's still him and will always be him. Baker's pocket presence is the best. It's the best thing I've ever seen from a quarterback. He can feel everything. He has that sixth sense to know what's going on behind him, to step up and make a throw to Emeka Egbuka. Let's give some props. Chris Godwin's back. Congratulations. Welcome back, sir. We're happy to have you back. But let's go back to Emeka Egbuka real quick. 4 receptions, he had 101 yards, including a 77-yard touchdown catch. That's pretty elite. And I think this was a really good pick for Tampa Bay. He's fantastic. And then Bucky Irving also, 15 carries, 63 yards. Receiving wise, 5 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown. And one of those being a 72-yard touchdown. That's crazy. That's insane. I'm going to stick with the same statement. I think Tampa Bay and Baker will go very far this year. I think they'll make it to the conference championship. Maybe push to the Super Bowl if Todd Bowles is smart enough. I'm mixed on that, but we'll see what happens, and I hope they do good. Eagle side. Jalen Hurts. He's not top 10. Maybe for top 15. This is not a top 10 quarterback game. This is a rookie quarterback kind of game. 15 for 24, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's rookie numbers, dude. Jackson Dart threw 13 for 20 for $130. Basically doing the exact same thing as you. And you're supposed to be better than Cam Newton and a top 3 quarterback in the league. You're not. You gotta kind of cut that one, buddy. And also, Saquon's getting that Madden curse right now. 19 carries, 43 yards, and a touchdown. This was supposed to be an electric season for him. People were saying he was going to win MVP, another offensive player of the year, but it's the Madden curse. He's not going to come back from this at all. Dallas Goedert, finally getting touches. I like him. A.J. Brown? What the fuck is going on with you, dude? You're on my fantasy team. If you don't lock in, I'm going to trade you some moron in my league. What is happening to you? Eagles defense is always pretty decent at just everything, honestly. But they didn't really look that good against Baker. Except for Jahad Campbell, who got his first interception. Congratulations, Mr. Man. You got an interception against Baker Mayfield. But other than that, I'm not impressed by the Eagles defense. And I am not really impressed by Tampa's either. But I still think they'll go far. Also, shout out Benjamin Morrison because he had an elite tackle today.
Okay. I will go next. I will start off with Philadelphia. Philly, I'm not going to lie. Your team is looking disappointing. And I'm going to say I'm not going to lie because I expected big things coming out of Philadelphia. Coming off of a big win in the Super Bowl up against Kansas City, putting up 41 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, you got to expect them coming into next season. Oh, they're going to be just as good as they were last season. Jalen Hurts, I don't know if you took your passing game and just hid it from you. I don't know if you took it, threw it away in the garbage. I don't know if you took it away and gave it to somebody else. I don't know what you're doing. sure, you heard everyone saying you can't pass, you can't throw it past 5 yards. And you're proving them right. A.J. Brown was your number one guy last year, and he's coming off 2 receptions for 7 yards. I mean, you also targeted him 9 times. I don't know if this is a Jalen Hurts problem, and I don't know if this is an A.J. Brown problem. Y'all got to figure it out. Meanwhile, Dallas Goedert, he's getting more love. I love seeing that. Dallas Goedert is an elite tight end, in my opinion. They need to feed him more. I feel like that's a star receiver, but also A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith are also elite receivers. You have an elite receiving core, and you are not using them correctly. If all you're going to do is run the ball, just switch your position and play next to Saquon Barkley at this point. Saquon Barkley, I don't know what's going on with you, but just like Dylan said, I might agree with him. Did the Madden curse hit you? 19 carries for only 43 yards. You're averaging 2.3 yards a carry. If this was you last year playing up against Tampa Bay, you would have dropped 150 plus yards on them and like 2 touchdowns. I don't know what's going on with you right now. It needs work. Overall, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. You guys are 4-0. But in my opinion, you guys don't deserve to be 4-0. You guys are not a 4-0 team. You guys are the most mid team I have ever watched in my entire life. You guys are a mid 4-0 team, and I agree with Dylan. Jalen Hurts is not a top 5, not a top 10 quarterback. In my opinion, he would be between 15 and 20. He is not that good of a quarterback. Moving on to Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield still has that dog in him. I don't care what you guys say about how Tampa Bay looked this week. I don't care what you guys say about how Baker Mayfield performed this week. Baker Mayfield is still that guy. Baker Mayfield still has that dog in him. 22 for 40 is not the best, but it's not the worst. His pocket presence is the best pocket presence I've seen from him in a long, long time. In Cleveland, it showed here and there. At Los Angeles, he didn't play long enough there, not even at Carolina. But once you put him on Tampa Bay, something new unlocked with this kid. I don't know what it was, but I like it. Bucky Irving, not looking bad on the ground. However, I would say use him and use, how do you even pronounce his name? Egbuka?
Becca Egbuka.
Emeka Egbuka?
Mhm.
Use those two in the air more. Egbuka with 101 receiving yards off of 4 receptions and a touchdown, along with Bucky Irving coming out of nowhere with 5 receptions, 102 yards, and 1 touchdown. I would work Chris Godwin into the mix as well, just a tad bit more. He's still a pretty elite wide receiver. No, I wouldn't say pretty elite. I would say a pretty good wide receiver. I'm pretty sure Mike Evans is injured. I'm not too sure. But overall, and Tampa Bay's defense, I am not going to say you guys disappointed me because you guys held Philadelphia Eagles to only 31 points. That's not bad. You guys almost beat them. I would say keep your head up and go into next week. Take this loss and make it into a win for next week. And hopefully Philadelphia loses their first game soon. I don't know what's going on with Philadelphia right now, but they are the most mid undefeated team I have ever watched. And it disappoints me. Baker, I still have him as a runner-up for MVP. Okay, on to the next game. Mr. Dylan. The Bears going up against the Las Vegas Raiders and winning 25-24, their second straight win. I will happily start us off if you would like to. Caleb Williams looked good. He looked good. 22 for 37, 212 yards, and a touchdown and an interception. It's not terrible, but it wasn't a bad game. Rome Odunze, I would say use him and use Cole Kmet more. Those two are dogs. Those two are your receivers that you should be feeding that ball more. I don't know what's going on with DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, in my opinion, last year was a pretty good all-pro running back. I don't know what's going on with him this year. I would say use him a little bit more, see how he rolls with it. But he's not doing bad. 14 carries, 38 yards, and a touchdown. However, I haven't seen a whole lot from him. Receiving game wasn't too bad either. Defense, though, y'all have got to get it figured out. If you're letting the Las Vegas Raiders score 24 on you and you guys are letting them get that close, it's a little bit scary. I will say, though, Dylan, your Bears have no problem on offense. They look pretty solid on offense. Defense, however, I don't know what's going on. Something's got to get figured out. And going on to Las Vegas, I'm just going to put this quick and simple, and I'm just going to get out of the way. Bench Geno Smith. Bench, I will say it slower for all the Raiders fans. Bench Geno Smith. The kid, the dude, he has had 3 interceptions in back-to-back games. Looking at your quarterback room, you guys have Cam Miller and you guys have Aiden O'Connell. Both of those quarterbacks are not bad quarterbacks. You guys could start Aiden O'Connell and he wasn't too bad. He's a pretty, all right quarterback. Cam Miller, he's a rookie, but you guys could start him and develop him, especially under Pete Carroll. You saw what Pete Carroll did with Russell Wilson in Seattle. Let Cam Miller start and see how he progresses with that. I don't know what's going on with Geno Smith, but Geno Smith is like an interception god at this point. He's thrown 3 interceptions last game, and he's thrown 3 interceptions this game. Did he even throw a touchdown pass last game? Because if he hasn't, the past 2 games, he has went 2 touchdowns for 6 interceptions. I'm not going to say that your completion to attempt ratio was terrible, but you are just a turnover machine. I don't know what you're doing. Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers didn't look so bad. Use Jacoby Myers more, because if you use him more, he's just going to develop into a great wide receiver. Use him more. Brock Bowers, I get it. He's like a wide receiver playing tight end. But everyone's going to predict if you're going to just chuck it to Brock Bowers the entire game. Geno Smith, your ass, you should get benched. And keep letting Ashton Jeanty just stand up and do his little Michael Myers stance. He did that one time, broke off for a 63-yard touchdown. Keep it that way. Just keep him going. He had 21 carries, 138 yards, and a touchdown. I might have Ashton Jeanty having Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. Everybody's saying it might be Cam Ward. With how the Titans are looking, I don't see it happening. Ashton Jeanty should be your Offensive Rookie of the Year this year, if he keeps playing the way that he's playing. My takes on this game: Chicago get the defense figured out. It looks horrible. Las Vegas Raiders, bench Geno Smith, start Aiden O'Connell, or start Cam Miller, and get I don't know. These defenses are both just pretty doo-doo buns, but your quarterback room in Las Vegas is just, it needs a lot of work. But Geno Smith needs to be benched immediately.
So I'm going to disagree with you. The offense is the problem. Now, we had to start a new right tackle this game because Darnell Wright was out with an injury. We started out with Theo Benedict. And he didn't do bad against Mad Max, but he didn't do good. With how Max plays, he lines up very far from the line so he can get a good running start. And there were, I think, 2 or 3 times where Max actually batted down the ball. And he also batted the ball to get the interception. There were several drives where it just led in a stalemate and just a punt. Until finally in the second half, they started picking things up, and that's when it started looking good. I agree with you. Start using Rowe more. Start using Cole Kmet more. Use DJ Moore. We are paying DJ Moore $100 million to do nothing. Pay him. Use him. What are we doing, Ben? I know this is your first year, but what are we doing? Come on, let's do something. I don't like DeAndre Swift whatsoever. I've not been really a big DeAndre Swift believer. I think we should have tried to go harder after Saquon or Jonathan Taylor. We should have. We should have threw basically the fan at him. But you know what? Ryan Poles didn't want to, and we got DeAndre Swift instead. A meh back at most. Defensively, we looked decent. Kevin Byard getting his 31st and 32nd interception was huge for him because, I mean, he's been a really good safety ever since he's came into the league, and I'm happy we have him. On the other side, with the Raiders, Cam Miller played at South Dakota State. Aiden O'Connell, we saw him last year, and he just wasn't good. I think your best bet is just ride it out with Geno, and then just wait till the draft and try to get somebody. Honestly, this team is just run it with Genty and Mostert, and just strictly focus on the run game this year. This pass game is atrocious. Geno likes to throw it into very, 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 very tough places, and he cannot get them. His arm just isn't as accurate as it's never really been accurate. He got lucky last year. He was so lucky last year that he even got an opportunity to sign a contract with a new team. Genty needs to I'm glad Genty's back to his original stance, and that Chip Kelly can't be like, "Ooh, that's stupid because blah blah blah." No, Chip Kelly, let the man do what he does, because he does it great. If you look between weeks 1 and 3, he had 100+ yards. This game, he had 138 yards and a touchdown. You know what he did different? He changed his stance. He went back to his cool stance. None of that, my hand to my knees, and bend down, and be in a ready position. It's not how he works. He works how he works. He's like Michael Myers. That's the whole reason for this. Didn't use Brock Bowers that much, and you should have. Brock Bowers is good. Should be your main target. Jacoby Myers is meh. Trey Tucker, that's a one-hit wonder. And your defense, trade me Mad Max. I will give you the house for Mad Max. If I can pair him with Montez Sweat, I will be happy.
Okay, now moving on. Next game, we're looking at Baltimore Ravens getting their asses handed to them by the Kansas City Chiefs. Baltimore, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if something's going on with the coaches. I don't know if something's going on with the practices. I don't know if it's something in the water. But y'all's only win was against Cleveland. And every other time you guys have lost. Not to mention, Derrick Henry is getting paid $30 million to run it for like 40, 50 yards, average a fumble a game, and not do anything else. But to cry, whine, throw his helmet here and there, I don't know what's going on with the Ravens right now. Something needs to get fixed though. Justice Hill looks better than Derrick Henry right now. Receiving and rushing. Justice Hill had 76 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown off of 3 carries. Derrick Henry had 8 carries, 42 rushing yards, and 0 touchdowns. Also, I don't know what's happening with Lamar Jackson. Last year, everyone was on Lamar Jackson train getting the MVP. How he's playing this year, I don't want to hear a single Ravens fan saying that he should get MVP. Ravens are 1-3. He hasn't really progressed or done much in the air or on the ground. Derrick Henry shouldn't be in the runnings for MVP either. He's averaged almost a fumble a game. Also has done nothing on the ground. Not even against Cleveland. The only exciting game he's had was against Buffalo, and that's it. Zay Flowers looks good. Mark Andrews looks to be getting his shine back. But Baltimore, you just need to get fixed overall. Moving on to Kansas City. Kansas City coming in 2-2, which is a weird record, especially for a team who just went to the Super Bowl last. I don't know if you guys are having some sort of a fall off and then a comeback. Hopefully you guys still keep on coming back. Patrick Mahomes coming 25 of 37, 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. We're finally seeing Patrick Magic Mahomes come in out of nowhere. I'm glad to be seeing Kansas City come back just because they're my uncle's team. Love my uncle. Will support him for liking the Chiefs. And I'm a Bills fan, but I don't hate the Chiefs. I'm glad to see you guys are making some sort of a comeback, but you guys have got to keep this train going, or else you guys are going to just fall apart all over again. Patrick Mahomes needs to keep improving, especially off of this game. Isaiah Pacheco, I don't know what's going on with him. Also with Kareem Hunt either. Patrick Mahomes has been leading this team in literally everything the past 3 games, and you guys just came out of nowhere, decided to be good. So keep going. Gardner Minshew got into the game as well. I don't remember that. Xavier Worthy, I would say keep feeding Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown. Travis Kelce, if you throw it to him and whenever you guys really need him, he's going to drop the ball. Sorry to say it, but Travis Kelce is not that guy anymore. Travis Kelce has become soft ever since dating Taylor Swift. Overall, I'm glad to see the Kansas City Chiefs coming back. Hopefully they keep going. Hopefully they keep succeeding and coming back. Hopefully we'll see them in the playoffs as well. Baltimore, I don't know what the hell is going on, but you guys have got to make some sort of magic come upon us. Because if not, you guys are just going to lead down a deep depression hole, especially with the offense you guys have. And last things last, fuck Taylor Swift. You're not performing at halftime. Fuck you. Noah, you better not cut that goddamn part out. You hear me, Taylor Swift? Fuck you. Bad Bunny got it before you. And Bad Bunny doesn't even speak English.
I'd rather have no Super Bowl than Bad Bunny or Taylor Swift. To be honest with you, I'd rather just have cancel the event, dog. Just cancel it.
Just have like some sort of like setup, like a comedy stand-up show, or Impractical Jokers. Joe comes back.
What, pranks the crowd? Start putting pencils in people's pockets?
Yes. Anyways, on to
Shame
Dylan's
us.
take.
Lamar Jackson. Thank you for your fuck up in fantasy this week. I really appreciate it. King Henry. It's time to hang him up. You have maybe one good game a season now. And now you're just 8 rushes for 42 yards. That's not good. But I want to go back to the runner-up for MVP last year really quick. Lamar, you shit your pants every big game. John Harbaugh, you can't coach a game to save your life. I don't know what's going on with you, dude, but you've had a couple heartbreaking losses this season because you can't coach. Your team doesn't finish. You have a fantastic defense. You have one of the best secondaries in the NFL. You're 1-3 with your only win being against Cleveland. That's disgusting. Cleveland is dog shit. You are dog shit. Kansas City? Mahomes looked good. Back to kind of his normal self. Absolutely no run game, though. And that's... I don't know whose fault that is. Pacheco's kind of just fallen off a bridge at this point. After his injury, he has not played the same. And then Kareem Hunt over here. Dude is just... He's washed. He is not prime Cleveland Browns Kareem Hunt anymore. Or prime older Chiefs Kareem Hunt before he got kicked off the team. Travis Kelce's washed. At least Xavier Worthy's back to kind of give you some sort of life in your dormant offense, which that's good. I enjoy watching Xavier Worthy play because that dude is insane. And then your defense was good against Lamar, and that's probably your best thing about you right now. Your defense, because your offense is just meh this year. It's weird. It's so weird because every year for the last 6 years, I'd say, it's been the best offense in football. Andy Reid has created the best offense in football for the last 6 years, except for this season. I don't know what's happening. I enjoy it. Now on to the Taylor Swift thing. Maybe we wouldn't dislike you as much if the NFL wouldn't push you down our throats so much. If I didn't have to see you 20 times a game during the Chiefs game because you're just in the stands, I can't wait for the day Travis Kelce retires and we don't have to see you anymore because it makes no sense. You have nothing to do with the sport of football. You're there because your fiance plays. I don't give a shit that you're there. I give a shit about the game. I got money on the game, not on you. Get the fuck off my screen. And Bad Bunny, most people who watch the NFL are American and don't speak Spanish. He better bring out some good guest stars because I'm going to be very frank with you. 70% of the people there will not understand what he's saying. But props to him. Congratulations on getting the halftime show. You know, you were at one of the Wrestle big events these last years. Congratulations, dude. But I don't think you should have gotten it. I think it should have went to Post Malone, honestly. But that's just my take on that.
I want a Nickelback halftime show, dog. Can't even lie.
I also think he was in Happy Gilmore too. Okay, moving on to the next game, which is going to be the most mid game that I have seen this entire season, which was the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to start off with Green Bay, and I'm just going to get it out of the way. Everyone expected Micah Parsons to come back into Dallas ready to kill Dak Prescott. And all we got was 1 tackle and 1 sack. That's it. Micah, we expected you to come in ready to rip off Dak Prescott's head. We expected you to come back and chase after him like a lion chasing after a gazelle. And that's all you gave us was 1 tackle and 1 sack. A little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. It was a disappointing defensive game to watch. Not even by Green Bay's defense, but also Dallas's defense. You both had the same amount of sacks. One from Micah Parsons and one from guess who? Could you take a wild guess at who made the sack for Dallas? Can anyone? James Houston. If you could tell me who James Houston is, I will give you $10 right now. But I guarantee you, you did not know who that was.
If I remember correctly, he used to play for the Chiefs. And he's a bald-looking dude. Let me see.
He is not bald. He has dreads. He also used to play for Cleveland.
Oh, I was thinking about who was I thinking of? Okay, go look.
I think I know who you're talking about, but at the same,
Carry on.
I think I know. Yeah. Overall, the defenses on both of the sides of the ball were disappointing, to say the least. However, I will say Jordan Love and Dak Prescott both popped off. They both looked good. Jordan Love coming out 31 for 43. Sorry, my bad. 31 for 43, 337 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns. He did not look bad that game. Along with Dak Prescott coming out 31 for 40, 319 yards, and 3 passing touchdowns, along with 1 rushing touchdown. The quarterbacks did not look bad. You know who else didn't look bad? Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs came out 22 carries, 86 yards, and 2 passing touchdowns. Both of these offenses looked phenomenal. George Pickens looked great, especially without the whole crash out part. Maybe if you calm down a little bit, take a chill pill before each game, maybe you'll have stats like you did this game. 8 receptions, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs, 6 receptions, 58 yards, 3 touchdowns. Had one hell of a game. Kevontae Turpin also had one hell of a game. Not only in the receptions category, but also in the kick returns category. He did not look too shabby. However, I will say both of y'all's defenses need major work. Also, ending on a 40-40 tie is the weirdest scoreboard I have ever seen. Especially carrying on
Justin Houston. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's who you're thinking of. That's who I thought of at first, I'm not going to lie. I thought Justin Houston, not James Houston. Are they related or no?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Just knew the last name was
Anyways.
Houston.
Both of these defenses play terribly. Both of the offenses popped off. And you guys ended in a 40-40 tie. If y'all had good defenses as well, with these offenses, it would look like the Rams-Chiefs Monday Night Football game. But you guys ended on a 40-40 tie. This was the most mid game of the week. I'm just going to say that now. Even though y'all's offenses looked phenomenal, y'all's defenses were so disappointing. And it is going to be my mid game of the week is going to be this game. Y'all could have came out with Green Bay winning or even Dallas winning. Dallas probably deserved to win. But y'all ended in a tie. What was this? Y'all just met up in the middle and just kind of was just like, let's just get a tie real quick. Just why not? This was just depressing, in all honesty. You guys both need work on defense. Offense, you guys are solid, but defense needs work.
I hate games that end in ties. I think Goodell needs to end them and go to a college football-esque overtime. None of this, oh, the clock's winding down, and if it winds down fully, it's just gonna be a tie. No, that's stupid. Why did my mic just change? There we go. Jordan Love, I might have said he was garbage the past few weeks. He kind of had a decent game. Good for him. But still, fuck you. Josh Jacobs coming back with 2 touchdowns is wild because that helped my fantasy team. Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. I really do appreciate that. Also, becoming a huge aspect in the passing game with 71 receiving yards. I really do appreciate that as well. Thank you. Romeo Doubs getting his 3 touchdowns. I like Romeo Doubs. I think him and Matthew Gold will be really good Packers receivers for the next few years. It's going to be like a Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb type of thing, hopefully. But if not, I'm fine with that as a Bears fan. Defensively, I agree with Christian. I expected more from Micah, and just getting a tackle and a sack is it's nothing crazy. I mean, yeah, you got a sack on your old quarterback, but still, it's not really the biggest thing in the world. And then on Dallas' side, I mean, Dak had another normal Dak game with 319 and 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams is proving himself to be a good back again after kind of bouncing around for a little bit, and I'm happy he's found a place in Dallas. Without CeeDee Lamb, they are abusing George Pickens. 11 targets, 8 receptions, 134 yards, and 2 touchdowns is huge for him. And then Jalen Tolbert, guy from USA. I love Jalen Tolbert. 4 receptions for 61 yards is fantastic for him. Defensively, fuck Dallas' defense. Fuck Matt Eberflus. You lost like last week. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, now moving on to the last game that we are going to discuss about. It's going to be the Monday night game. Now, we're not talking about Jake Browning and the Bengals being a disappointment another week. We're not going to talk about that. Because whatever I saw from them was just, I can't even describe it. We're talking about the game between 2 of the worst teams I've ever seen. New York Jets and Miami Dolphins. Both surrounded by good talent, yet they have coaches and quarterbacks who don't know what they're doing. Justin Fields has his head on straight. Tua Tagovailoa doesn't even know where the fuck he is half the time. He was probably parked in the handicap spot and didn't know how to get into the stadium. I will start off by saying this. With the talent that the Jets have surrounded themselves with, Isaiah Davis, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, y'all have all this talent and you guys are 0-4. I know that it's not the offense. I wouldn't expect it to be the defense. However, definitely could be the defense as well. It's y'all's coach. I feel like if you guys have a new coach who knows what he's doing with the franchise, with the team that is built, you guys would have a 2-2 record at best. However, you guys are now standing at 0-4. I don't know what's going on. Justin Fields looks good. Breece Hall, I have no complaints about. Garrett Wilson, definitely no complaints about. I don't know what's going on with your guys' talent, why it's being thrown away or washed or wasted. But you guys need to step up and figure it out. And I know it's not the players' fault, but you guys need a new coach possibly. New York Jets are 0-4. They shouldn't be, especially with the team that they have. Y'all need improvements, and I'm not going to say it's very much in the player category. you guys might need a new coaching jobs overall. Moving on to the Miami Dolphins. I will say prayers out to Tyreek Hill for his injury, hopefully for a fast and speedy recovery. That injury was very hard to watch. I hated watching that. It looked terrible. And I hope for nothing but a fast recovery for him. Tua Tagovailoa didn't really have that bad of a game. 17 for 25, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm glad he knew how to play football for this game. I don't know about next week, but hopefully you guys do continuing forward. Tyreek Hill didn't look too bad whenever he was in 6 targets, 6 receptions, 67 yards, 6-7. Jalen Waddle didn't have too bad of a game. Darren Waller popping out with 2 receiving touchdowns. Darren Waller is looking pretty all right. Devon Achane doing what Devon Achane has always done, which is scoring and running the ball like he's a little fast toddler on speed. 20 carries, 99 yards, and a touchdown. Didn't look too bad whatsoever. I will say Tua needs to keep on playing how he is playing right now in order for you guys to continue to win games. Offensive line also needs to keep doing what they're doing because he didn't get sacked once, which is good. Because if he gets sacked, who knows what might happen? He might be in a motorized wheelchair, for all that matters. For the Jets, I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what's going on with you guys. You guys need to figure it out. Justin Fields didn't look bad. In the air or on the ground, 81 rushing yards, rushing touchdown, 226 passing yards, going 20 for 27 and 1 passing touchdown. I don't know what's going on with you guys. You guys need to get it figured out. And one last thing, Miami Dolphins, y'all's rivals jerseys look absolutely terrible. The black does not mix with y'all's blue that you got going on. Does not look that good. Does not look that appealing whatsoever. I wouldn't say black would be your color. I think a different color would work pretty well with the blue you guys got going on. But I would suggest getting it fixed.
Noah, thoughts or onions?
No,
Didn't watch it. Okay.
I already told y'all this. Didn't happen.
Got it.
I warned y'all.
I love Justin Fields.
What the hell?
If Justin Fields could play like Ohio State Justin Fields now, I'd give away Caleb. I wanted to keep Justin at the end of the year, but that's because I enjoyed him as a speedy kind of guy, but not as really a passer. Because I didn't understand that he could pass at an NFL level like this. It's not crazy, but it's better than what he was doing in Chicago at his time. His run game's still crazy. Also, pairing him with Breece Hall was insane. And I think if you give Aaron Glenn a little bit of time, he can get this defense accustomed to how he does defensive things. They need a new offensive coordinator, though. Their offensive coordinator, I don't think, is the best. And maybe start to look into making some bigger trades for your offense. Possibly bringing Chris Olave. Just turn this into an Ohio State team. You already have Jeremy Ruckert, Justin Fields, and Garrett Wilson. Just bring them all together. Just do it. You have to do it now. Because I just told you to. Asshole. I win. You lose. On the other side, Miami. I think their jerseys are hard as shit. Sucks for Tyreek. I didn't have him in any of my fantasy leagues. Thank God. But, Tua, he's going to take one more hit and he's going to he'll be in a wheelchair. So, but I really like Devon A-Chain too at the same time. He's really good. He's fast. He's smart. And he's capable of being one of the best backs in the league. Defensively, you guys are dog shit. Other than maybe Jalen Phillips every 3 games, you're ass. That's really all.
All right, guys. So, welcome to this week's Chris Picks. This week, we are going to go and start off with James Cook up against New England. James Cook up against New England. I believe that this is going to be more than 77.5 rushing yards. Now, this is off of Prize Picks. We are not sponsored by Prize Picks whatsoever. We have no sponsors yet. James Cook with 77.5 rushing yards more. The last 5, he has averaged about 97.20 yards rushing. Last week, he had 117 rushing yards against New Orleans, had 108 rushing yards against Miami, had 132 rushing yards against the New York Jets. Looking at where the rushing defense is, Patriots are ranked number 2 in rushing yards, but their rushing yards allowed average is about 77.5. I believe with James Cook and how he's running recently, he's definitely going to outrank that. Next thing is Jahmyr Gibbs having more than 72.5 rushing yards. I will admit, his last 5 have been a little shaky with how he's been rushing, but he's going up against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the Bengals are ranked whenever it comes to stopping the rush attack. Give me 1 second. They're ranked 26th, letting up 135.8 rushing yards average. I believe with Jahmyr Gibbs and how he's been looking against some of these teams, I feel like he's definitely going to surpass 72.5. Now coming up, we got Jalen Hurts with less than 180.5 passing yards. Jalen Hurts and his passing game has been absolutely terrible. He has surpassed 180 passing yards 2 times in his last 5 games. He had 130 up against Tampa Bay and 101 up against Kansas City. Along with passing defense, the Broncos are ranked 9th in the NFL for passing defense, laying up only 186 passing yards per game. And with the defense that they have solidified now, I do not think that Jalen Hurts, the running back of the NFL, is going to surpass 180.5 passing yards. And last but not least, Jackson Dart, I believe that he is going to get more than 1.5 passing touchdowns up against New Orleans Saints. Not to shit on Noah's team any more than it has already been shat on, but they're terrible. Whenever it comes to stopping the rush, they are ranked 18th. Not too bad. Whenever it comes to stopping the pass, they are ranked 15th. They are the most mid defense that we have ever watched, and they are the most shit team that we have ever watched. 0-4 has not been able to stop the pass, run, nothing. I believe that Jackson Dart is going to come in with that dog in him and pass for 2 passing touchdowns. That's it for Chris Picks. Hopefully my picks do you right, because they haven't the past 2 or 3 times. Hopefully they do it right this time. And that's it for Chris Picks.
All right. This is Noah Knows, and I am coming at you with the 3 worst college football uniforms I've ever seen in my life. All right. At number 3 is the least ugliest of the 3 to me. It's not going to hurt Dylan's feelings because I know he's going to hate it too. The Notre Dame pinstripes. Disgusting. That doesn't work. Not in football. In baseball, it works. Not in football, bud. No, get it out of here. All right. And number 2, Michigan Bumblebee, gross. Just gross. Fuck no. All right, then at number 1, the Florida Gator skin is the ugliest college football uniforms I've ever seen in my life, and the ugliest uniforms I've ever seen in football, period. If we ever wear these again, I will start rooting for FSU because these are that bad. They are disgustingly bad and should never be worn in a Florida game ever again. Thank you for your time. This was Noah Knows.
Dude. The gator skin and the pinstripes are fucking disgusting.
I didn't like the Bumblebee one either.
What
Was
the
that,
fuck?
Was that Denard
That
Robinson
doesn't.
era?
That's gross.
I think so.
That-
It was between that or the Michigan State neon green.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
bad.
No.
Yeah,
Those are
really, really bad.
Also really bad.
I also do not like the Bumblebee uniform. That it's just
Wait, hey.
just why does it have to be the shoulders
Hey,
that are
Chris.
like striped?
Chris, look up the Minnesota long hem jerseys.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of Fourth and Forever. Please follow our Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Dylan,
I'm Christian.
And I know.
and this was our podcast.